Good morning, good afternoon. How are you all doing? I hope you are well. Today is Monday. Today is Monday, 19th October. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you all doing? $2020, and it's the New York session. There we go. All right, let's leave that one there and let's begin. So we start with the dollar as usual, and we're gonna work our way forward. I'm looking at price on the dollar. So we do have, you see, I've got my weekly dividers. Let me make the line a bit solid so you can see them. Okay, so I've got my weekly dividers, right? And wow, the dollar has not been the easiest pair to analyze over the last I'll say 2 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, it's not been the easiest to analyze. We can see 2 weeks ago we had price giving us bullishness that it wants to continue going higher, and then it fell off until Friday. And then last week we had a retracement, thinking we were just going for retracement and then a continuation to the downside, and then we broke above. Okay, and then this week we started the week, and just Monday price has dropped this much. So it's not been the easiest to analyze in terms of long term. So I'm gonna go on to the higher time frame and then give you what I see. Okay, so we came back down to this last down candle. I think price failed to close above this high, right? Price failed to close above this swing high and rejected. So I think we are back in a range. We are traded inside a range, so between this high and that low, that is a range we are traded in right now. And we do have equal lows layered down here, and then a little bit of equal lows down here. What I want to see is how they react from this low going forward today and tomorrow. Today's not probably a good day, or the day has already, the best move has already transpired. Some of the trades that I caught, I think I did share with you guys the trade that I caught this morning, and the one that we already in since last week. I want to see how they trade below this low. Are they just coming down to run last week's let's bring back my daily dividers. Why are my daily dividers not showing? My daily dividers are not showing. Give me a second whilst I sort this thing out. Okay, need to go on the 1 hour. There we go. All right, so we've come back down to run. That is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday's low. Okay, and then we've got a bounce. From what I can see, it looks like they want to take out this consolidation here, and if they do that, I think they might also want to come down here. However, because today is Monday and we usually get this kind of formation where we retrace inside the previous week's range, and then price rejects and then starts going higher. So that's something I'm looking at. Okay, the reason why I'm looking at this is because the daily is still bullish. The daily has not changed direction yet, so the daily is still bullish. So this is a level that I was watching since market open today, to see whether we're going to get like a bounce or any form of rejection. And it lines up with this low where they've just taken it into this down candle. So I want to see how price will react in here. I don't want to call that they want to come down here, because that would be, I think, the dollar coming back down here, and I don't see that. So it's probably just a run on this down candles low and then a rejection. So we have Monday form low of the week, and then we reject and go higher. That's what I go with right now until it changes. Okay, so if we form a short-term high, let's go to the lower time frame, which is this one here. Once we break above that, then we are bullish again. Okay, so you want to watch this down, this last up candle, and see if you'll be able to change this color. Right, once you're able to trade and close above this last up candle here, then I just think we are going back up. We have equal highs in here, this high and that high, equal high up there, so they will be running for that maybe tomorrow going forward. Okay, so what I want, I want to see how we trade above this last up candle. All right, and then once we close above it, then I'll be expecting price to run this equal highs. Okay, so that will be what I'm watching. And when it comes to euro, I was looking at the breaker on the 4-hour here to provide support, and it did, and then they've rejected and come back inside. So this was like Friday's trading in here. Okay, Friday price came back up there and then rejected. So I was expecting a continuation to the downside, however that didn't happen, and then rejected, and we've traded above the breaker now. So I think we just came back to rebalance this area here, and we might see a rejection to go lower. So on the lower time frame, again, I don't like selling short in this huge bullish move. It could be manipulation to send it back down. So on the lower time frame, you can look for selling opportunities. I personally use breakers, so maybe once we close below this down candle, then I can start looking for sells. However, let's go back to the 1 hour. If you are the high time frame trader, then you have to wait for this down candle to close, and then you look for a continuation to the downside for this level here. Okay, there's nothing wrong selling short up here with the stop just above this high. Okay, so something like this, with the understanding that okay, dollar is bullish, and this was just a pullback for Monday's or the weekly low. Okay, you can trade like that mindset, but I don't want to subscribe to that on a Monday. The week is still fresh. I don't want to subscribe to that, so I will trade it on the lower time frame, or you can trade it in the lower time frame and look for like breakers or anything. Maybe we break a short-term low and a retracement to a 618 level, whatever pattern that you can get to trade in the lower time frame. And then on the higher time frame, once we break this low here, back down here, then we can start looking for lower objectives to come back down here and even further to the downside. Okay, pound, I got a question from someone, and as soon as he mentioned pound dollar, I knew that there was something happening on it. We do have this last up candle and equal lows sitting right in here, So with this, I think, right, they engineered this and they will be coming down for it. So what I was looking for was a breaker on the lower time frame, and initially I thought, okay, this was a breaker, but I didn't like the way it was so tight to that level, so I was considering this low, and then it went above it here. So now this was the breaker, and we see price has now traded to that and it's rejecting. So this is how I would trade it in the lower time frame, and then on the high time frame I'll look for the same thing but on a high time frame. So I'll look for a breaker on the high time frame starting from the 15. So on the 15, for me to take a breaker trade, I'll have to wait for this down candle. Okay, we have a high, and then we break down, and then I'll take that trade and then look for a continuation to the downside. All right, and I'll be targeting this equal low. Okay, so for 15 minutes time frame traders, that's the sort of idea you can have. And then on the 1 hour, I think this low as well. So on the 1 hour, that's this down candle. Once we break that, that can be as a breaker as well, and then look for a run below this equal low. So that's the British pound. New Zealand dollar, I do have this level. I think I posted it somewhere. I haven't posted it on the group chat yet. I was waiting for some form of a rejection. We do have it now, so maybe I'll post this now. Okay, because that's a trade idea I had since last week. Once price dropped down here, I actually had a buy in the lower time frame from here. I'll show you where I had the buy. Yeah, I had a buy from here last week Friday. Okay, I had a buy from here, and then I was expecting price to trade up there on Friday, but I didn't, so I ended up closing the trade, and we've seen it rally to that level today. So I'm expecting a rejection from this down candle, which is essentially the breaker. So if I push it right here at the opening, at the close price, that is the breaker there, and we should see a rejection and start going lower again. So first target is, let's push it right to this down candle there. So that's the first target, and second target would be this low, and then this one, and the rest we'll see if that's gonna materialize, because I'm not sure if this gonna go all the way down here, right? The reason why I'm not sure is because we could, because of some strength in the New Zealand, also New Zealand is bearish, so because of that there will be some strength in the New Zealand, so maybe it's not gonna drop all the way down here, but at least this low and this low probably might get tagged. Okay, Aussie dollar, another pair that I was watching, we do have this last down candle. Okay, this last down candle taken out here and then broken down. So today we've traded back to it, and then I'm expecting some form of a rejection. So again, the same thing over and over again. I'm looking for, you can see I highlighted this down candle in the morning. I wanted to see if we were going to break it, and then price just jumped up, taking out this high. So now my attention has moved here, and I'll be watching it to see if we're gonna break it. And that is with the mindset that the dollar is going to turn around and go higher. If the dollar doesn't turn around and it continues going lower, then this would be actually a buy to continue going higher. Do I want to buy it? I want to see what this thing will do. If this thing wants to go higher and I buy this, that would be very, very bad. Okay, so today is Monday. I want to see how Mr. Dollar will behave itself before I commit to any trade or any dollar pair trade. Okay, that's why I've ignored the dollar pairs for the start of the week, and I went on to the cross pairs. Right, so you want to ignore the dollar pairs for now. If you do have a trade idea, by all means, you are free to do whatever you want. Okay, I personally, when I don't have any clear direction for the dollar and I don't want to be caught on the wrong side, then I'll look on the cross pairs and I'll find a high probability trade on the cross pairs, and then I'll trade that instead of forcing a trade on these majors. Okay, and now back to CAD. So on CAD, I have this down candle that I'm monitoring here, but at exactly 1 o'clock I saw this candle run up, so I gave a signal. I've not posted it yet, but I was going to. I'll show you here. Okay, in here I was saying that we need to wait for the candle to close above this high. Okay, so that's a signal that I was about to send, but I decided to wait and watch it close. If I am sitting in front of the screen, I want to watch it close above it before I do anything. Okay, so that's a trade that I'm watching. It's my personal trade as well, so I want to see price close above this high before I commit to any kind of trade. So I'm watching this down candle to see, once we hit it, what price is going to do. Okay, if we hit it and then we change direction, then I'll be looking for a continuation to the upside. If we don't, then I'll just wait, because I don't want to take any action until it gives me a reason to do so. So that's the dollar CAD. Dollar Swiss, this I have no idea what it wants to do right now, so I'm just gonna ignore it for now. We do have a price signature here. We made a lower low, so that was a break in market structure. So this return is a return to the last down candle, and then we might see price reject, but because of this, I see this as a consolidation, and they might run this low, and if they do have some nice equal lows sitting here. So I don't want to go against this thing here. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore this and then focus on the dollar CAD, because the dollar CAD has got much better structure. Euro pound, this thing is just too sideways for my liking. I did have this trade idea on Friday. Price came there and rejected, but I didn't post it because I was not too confident about this trade, simply because it's just been going sideways, right? Price has just been going sideways, so I just didn't like the idea of selling short in here, because it could just go up, take out this high, and then reject and come back down. So it's still the same thing. I've not changed my mind. I need price to close above this high before I do anything. Okay, because that level here is a weekly level, or it's a high time frame resistance or support. Yeah, something like that. It's a high time frame level that I'm watching to see if for it to provide support or resistance. I get confused with the support and resistance. I think someone taught me the other day, but I seem to have forgotten again. Right, so that's the high time frame level I'm watching to provide a turnaround, basically. So I want to see price close above here before I commit to any buying. If not, then I think price will probably price will come down and take out this low. All right. Yeah, that's my son down there crying. He's being naughty. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking on this one. It's either we're gonna sweep back down. I'm not too confident. The reason why is we are too low for me to sell, and price is not turning around, so we are stuck in a range, and it's gradually grinding down, but it's just not the kind of trade idea that I will take personally. So I'll leave that one there for now. Aussie, New Zealand, I think price doesn't want to turn around. If you go onto the weekly, it looks like it wants to come down to this last down candle, because every down candle that I was expecting to provide support has been broken. I was expecting this to give us at least a run to the main threshold, but that hasn't been the case, and then we've rejected. So I think they want to come down to the last down candle on the weekly here. So I'm gonna be patient and let that get there before I do anything. Okay, so if we do pull back, I think that will between, let's see the range again. We are too low to consider a sell. Hang on, let me do this. Yeah, I think we've got a bit of room to the downside. The 168, which is almost close to that down candle on the weekly. So we've got a bit of room to the downside, basically. Deleted that. Let me draw. So about 14 pips. That's not a lot of pips. And then 30 pips to the weekly last down candle. It's not a lot of pips to the downside. So if there is any pullback inside the 5 minutes or 15 minutes, you can look for a short. Yeah, he's been naughty. I think the mom is not happy with him. So if you do pull back, you could look for a sell to continue going lower. All right, and then once we get to these levels, I think there will be some form of bullishness, unless, all right, unless the weekly is turning around, which is also possible. Okay, unless the weekly is turning around and it wants to break this low and then continue going lower, which I don't think that will be the case, because we do have a lower low in here, right? So I don't think that will be the case for now. So there is going to be definitely a bounce in this region. Right, there is going to be a bounce in this region, and then we could get something back to this last up candle, right? So let's be patient. If you want to catch the short going down, then by all means you can do so, and then trade it to the downside objectives. But if you don't want, then just wait for price to turn around, and then you can get a buy or catch a buy to the last up candle here. Euro New Zealand, I don't know what he wants to do right now, right? I have no idea what he wants to do, because we came down. I was expecting price to close below here, and then price rejected, right? And then once we rejected, I was expecting price to come to this up candle. It finds support here and rejected. Today we are pushing higher. So I think the best thing is to either trade the lower time frames, okay, or don't trade it, because on the high time frame this can turn around at any time. Okay, I believe price should come here. This boy is so funny. I believe price should come to the last up candle. That is my belief, that price should come to the last up candle. However, that is not up to me to do that. Okay, so if we do break, I think we have a short-term high here. If we do break above that, then we could see price come up here to the last up candle. So you can watch this level here, the green line. Once you break above it or close above it, we could see price come up in here. Okay, so that would be a good short-term trade to watch. We did have some sort of a breaker in here on the lower time frame, and I think that is the best options or the best thing to be trading in this current condition. There's no long-term trend. The reason why is because of the US election just around the corner, so investors are being cautious on where to put their money. And if you were someone that had millions and billions of dollars right now, I think you'll be sitting on your hands, because you don't want to be caught on the wrong side for these markets to go against you, right? So your best option is to do what? Is to sit on your hands, right? So I think you all know that we have election right at the corner, which is the US presidential election. So I want you guys to be cautious as well, because you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the market. Okay, so because of that, a lot of the pairs are not trending. They are in a range bound, and if they are in a range bound, you don't want to be looking for long term, which happened to us last week. I was expecting some long term trades, but I was expecting the range bound to happen from this week and next week going, not last week, but last week happened to be when they started going sideways, because I'll go on to the pairs that we took the trades and then you'll see what I mean. So this is another one that looks like they want to go sideways. Okay, so you can see from here we took out this low and then rejected and came back in. We took out that high and then rejected and came back in. So that is a sideways market. Right, so most of the pairs right now are in a sideways market waiting for the presidential election. So I want you guys to be careful. Do not force long-term trades. Just stay on the lower time frame and trade for 50, not more than 100 pips. 100 pips is even a lot. Okay, you're looking for 40 to 60 pips trade, and then you'll be done. All right. So that's what we have. So on this one, if you do break above this high, you could look for a long to come up to the last up candle there. Okay, same thing on this one. You can see how price is stuck in that range, and then on the daily, price is not doing anything. Okay, so there's a lot of sideways market going on there, and if you're not careful, you can get really hurt, right? So be careful. Let's see some displacement. Let's see big ranges before we start looking for long-term trade ideas. For now, it's just all short-term based or day trades. So if you cannot day trade and you cannot scalp, then this is not the market for you. Like my personal favorite trading is swing trading, but right now it's not happening for me. Okay, I don't get long-term trades, so I have to either sit on my hands or go into the lower time frame, which is not my strength, because I I like trading on the high time frame. So on the lower time frame, I have to be careful trading them. Okay, so I have to be really sure of what I'm doing before I do go on the lower time frame. So if you are experiencing things like that in your trading, then maybe you have to look at what I'm saying here, that we don't have a good market condition, so the market is not going to trend. So if you do not know how to day trade or scout, then maybe you need to sit on your hands and wait. All right. Pound yen. So when I did my high time frame analysis, it was giving me that probably we might come down here and then go higher, and they didn't come down, they just went higher. So I just ignored that because I was looking for a run below this low for the start of the week. Okay, so once we start this week, I was looking for price to run down and then break up and then continue going higher, but that wasn't the case. They just broke higher, which I didn't see because that happened like early hours in the morning. So price has already left when I woke up. The one I took, I'm gonna show you the one I took. On this one, it looks like they are coming for this high, and we might see a continuation to the upside. So that was the idea I had coming into this week, that we will get a continuation to the upside on this pair. Okay, we will get a continuation to the upside on this pair. If you look, we do have a swing low here, and they've run here, and then they've also run this and then rejecting. So it's a double run. So definitely there will be a continuation to the upside for this equal high. So you can look for retracements. Yeah, you could look for retracement and then be a buyer. Let's see where price could retrace to. Just remove this drawing. Okay, you could look for a retracement. You could look for retracement back down in here. Okay, and then expect higher prices. All right, so 618 to the 70.9, look for that area there and then look for higher prices if prices to retrace. If we don't retrace, then obviously price is just gonna continue going higher. So this equal high is where I'm looking at as a potential target. All right, for now it looks like it wants to take out this consolidation, but this is the one I am eyeing. Okay, so if you do get a pullback, that is your target. Dollar yen, I am still waiting for price to give me a run below this low. Okay, I want to see, maybe they'll do it, but in a weird form, because I saw it happen last 4 years, where we had a weekly level, and then once they announced the election, whatever happened, price then dipped down and then rejected and then went higher. So if you drop down to the lower time frame and then go to $16, 10, 29 there. So like, let's say this is the level I'm expecting. Okay, I'm expecting price to come down to, and price never got back, and then once they gave the election, I think that was the election week, and then price dropped down quickly, taking out all the stops, and then rejected and went higher. So that's what I think, that's what might happen here. Instead of them coming down for this low, they are hanging around, So they could hang around there for some time, and then when the time is right, they're gonna do some dodgy run to the downside and then reject and go higher. They could even do, I don't think they can, because we've already taken out that low, so there's less probability that they will come all the way down here, but there's a high probability they could come here, even close to there, and then still reject and go higher. Okay, so you want to be careful going forward on this pair. Do not force trades on it. I think we do have equal highs in here after running this low. That is where I am eyeing, so it's just taking time, but eventually it's gonna do it, but in a weird way. So be careful trying to force it now, because it's not time for it to move yet. Okay, they are holding almost all the pairs in a range. Okay, almost all the pairs from dollar to, I don't know, oil. All the pairs that you see here, almost all of them are in a range bound market. So you want to be cautious about that. Euro yen, I believe that it's gonna come back up in here to take out that high. Why? Because I had this down candle here, this last up candle here, looking for a sell, and then they broke above it. So if we do retrace back down to there, I'll be expecting higher prices, and I'll be targeting this high. Okay, so for now, this could be the short-term target. We will get some form of a rejection or a retracement in here, and then that retracement might cause price to come back down here, and once we do, then we'll be looking for a buy. Look at this down candle as well. I like the way we had it engulfed and then price ran away. So you can look at that down candle, and this is the ones that I would like to trade, because I don't want to go on the dollar pairs, and I'll be looking for a break above that high. And the reason why I'm looking for a break is because we have this low to that high. This is a daily swing, okay, and then we retrace down. I was expecting it down here, even to there, but I didn't do that, and then we've rejected. So this is a high low retracement, and then we'll be expecting expansion above this high. Okay, so if you do get a retracement, then you can look for a buy. I like the breaker, but it's entirely up to you. You can take the breaker or the down candle. It makes no difference. You can take the breaker, and then it can come all the way to the down candle, or you can just hit this and then continue going higher. When it comes to that, it's a preference in terms of trade entries. So you can take both of them and then put your stop loss here. So you can take this one and place your stop loss below there. Okay, so that if in case we are to retrace down here, then obviously you do have the opportunity to get into that trade as well. All right, CAD yen, same thing. I was expecting rejection in here to continue going lower, but that is not the case now. Price has broken above it. Okay, so they could be looking to continue going higher on this. So then I'll change back again to targeting this and then that, and I'll view all this move to the downside as just retracement, because initially I was watching this area to hold price and send price back down, and then once we break this, I'll be targeting this consolidation here, but that's not the case. We've rejected that, so then my eyes comes right back up here, so I could look for buys again to continue going higher. So my first target would be above this high, second there, and then we'll see how price is gonna react once we get there. Not so much up here, but this one, yes, simply because if we project this low to that high to the upside, 1.5 is up here, so this is definitely gonna get hit, but that one I'm not sure. Therefore, I'll not be too excited for that. I'll wait till we get here, and then I'll see if price is gonna reach for that. So if we close above this up candle, we could start looking for longs to continue going higher. New Zealand yen, this one also stopped us out last week because we had a buy right here. We had a buy right here. We did get some pips. It did give us some pips, and with this engulfing candle, I was confident that we will be continuing going higher, but that was not the case. And this is what I am talking about in terms of what is going on with the current situation in the market. The market is not having long-term direction. So we took out this high. Initially we took out this low and then went up, took out that high. We actually closed above it, so this was looking bullish. So I was very confident with this trade and look for it to break down again, and now we're back inside the range again. So this is why I'm saying be careful with long-term directions, because you might get caught on the wrong side. And if we had held onto that trade on Friday, okay, then we'll be back at break even now, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, it has stopped you out, and then now price is back to your entry. Okay, so you want to be careful going forward. I believe this pair will run this equal high. How he's going to do it, that's the next question I'm trying to figure out. Right, if we close above the Friday's this Thursday's down candle, okay, after running the stops, if we close above this down candle, then I will say we will be going higher again, but until then I am not sure. So we need to close above this down candle after this stop run. Okay, anytime we run a down candle, or once we run a swing low and we close above a down candle, that is bullish, and at least for the near term. Okay, if we run a short-term high and we close below an up candle, that's bearish for the near term. Okay, same thing in here, same thing in here. We run this low, close above it, at least for the near term, that's bullish. So if we do close above this high, then for the near term, that's bullish, so we could look for higher prices. But until then, I will wait until that gives me that price action. Okay, New Zealand Cad, this is a trade that we've been in since last week, and it's been going on forever sideways. Okay, it's still valid. We are still waiting for higher prices. It's just taking its time, and I think at this point I understand this is accumulation. Okay, it's accumulating, or it's going sideways, so that's accumulation of orders, whether to the upside or to the downside, that's yet to be known, but I know that it's definitely accumulation going on. Why? Because they took out these stops here and then came back in, took out that stops and then came back in, and we are in that range. So that's accumulation basically. So we're expecting some form of a run somewhere, but I believe should be to the upside, because you have this nice clean equal high sitting up here, right? So look for that one going forward. And let's jump on to the next pair. That's the gold. Absolutely magnificent. But I didn't take this one. I had this idea on, I think, Friday. Looking at how price rallied away from here, I was suspecting that they might come back to rebalance this whole move to the downside, but I didn't take it. It's just me practicing. All right, but the original trade idea was to buy. The original trade idea was to buy here. With a stop below this and a continuation to the upside to there. That was the original trade idea. Yeah, but then dollar decided to be what it was doing, and then we had this drop. So on gold as well, we are sideways. Okay, price is not doing much. I suspect they're gonna run down because this is looking too pretty. This is looking too pretty for the trend line traders. Let's do this. I'm so good at drawing trend lines. Okay, so this is like the trend line traders are hugging this pair, so I think they might run them out. That's what I think might happen. If we don't and we close above here, even this up candle, if we close above it, then we will be looking for price to rebalance here, which was where I was looking for initially. This one there. So if we close above this last up candle, then I think price is gonna run up there, and then once we get there, we will see what is gonna happen. Yeah, I'm not sure what's gonna happen there, but once we get there, we will find out. And then lastly, oil. I've been looking forward for this to be run since last week Monday. Yeah, since last week Monday, I've been looking forward for it to run. Yeah, so last week Monday, once price opened, I had an idea that they were going to run this low and then reject and come and take out this equal high, but they didn't do it last week, so maybe they're going to just run it now. Okay, so that's my near-term target on oil, but once we run this high, then that's my idea on this done. I don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, so oil, I do see them running this high, but what's going to happen next, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so if you trade oil, then once this equal high is run, you want to take most of your profit off, and then you wait and see what price is going to do. All right, so that will be it on my side. I've trimmed down the pairs that we look at for personal reasons, at the same time for the benefit of the members, so that they can focus on a few pairs, because I've been preaching to them lately to trade a few pairs. So this is on my part to give them an example of trimming down, so that we can get focused on the pairs that not literally trade all of them, but focus on them, so that if anything is happening on the lower time frame, we can see them. Okay, I did that on purpose, because for you to be profitable, you need to be focused. I did make an analogy, which was last Friday. We did an afternoon session, and I said something like, imagine, or just take the Forex pairs that you trade, just take them as your wives or even your girlfriend. Okay, and if you're a lady watching, then that's your boyfriend. And imagine that you have to spend time with all these boyfriends or girlfriends or wives, and you have to spend your energy, and you have to spend your money, and you have to spend your time with them. So you cannot dedicate full attention to all of them at the same time. because you'll be loyal to a few of some of them, not all of them. So the ones that you be loyal to, that's the one that you want to keep. And then the ones that you can't be loyal to, then you divorce them or you get rid of them. So look at the Forex pairs as your wives and your girlfriends and your boyfriends, and then the same energy, because you are going to spend time analyzing them. That's your time. You're going to spend your mind, your thinking on them. That's your energy, and you're going to use money to trade them. Okay, so that's you giving money to the pairs. So basically, you want to make sure that you reduce the number of wives that you have or girlfriends that you have, so that you can focus on making a few of them happy. All right, so that's where we came up with the idea of reducing the pairs that you trade. So I personally now setting the example. Okay, before I was trading 8 pairs. I didn't trade all of these. I was trading 8 pairs, but I've also cut my pairs down to now 6. So I'm only trading 6 pairs. So I hope all the members will listen and then cut down their pairs that they trade and focus, because you don't want to open yourself up for too much risk in these conditions that we are in. All right, but it doesn't stop me from looking at pairs that you want me to look at. Maybe the pairs that I have here, you don't have it as your pair that you like, as your wife or as your girlfriend, as your boyfriend. So then you can ask me to look at it for you, and then I will do so. These are just random pairs that I selected. Okay, so it doesn't mean that I don't look at the other ones. I do if you want me to, but for now these are the ones that I've chosen to look at. But if you do have any pair that you want me to look at, by all means send it to me, and then I will look at it for you. And the trade that I took this morning was literally give me 1 second. This one. So this is a trade I took this morning. I saw it late. I had it planned last week Friday. But when I woke up, Mondays I don't do morning sessions on Monday. So Monday I tend to sleep in, and I don't like trading on Mondays either. Okay, so I was not planning to take a trade, but when I woke up and then I saw what has happened, price has already hit this down candle, and on the 5 minutes, I think 5 minutes, yeah, in here, right here, it broke that market structure there. Okay, so as soon as I saw that, it was just too good not to take it. So then I sent it out for our members to take advantage of it, and I also took my one myself. So I went long in here, and then I still have a piece on, because the final target was here, and I still have a piece on to see how far this thing wants to go. Right, so ideally my target is up here, and then I'll be looking, if we do get continuation or weakness on the part of the yen, then I'll be looking for this equal high. But then I will be looking for extra entries, not just that one entry that I have there. So I'll be looking for more entries once we run above this high. Okay, so that's the trade I had this morning, and that's it. And I'm currently looking at this to give me a break-in structure before I look for any buy. If it doesn't give me any break-in structure, then I will be waiting. Okay, so now that we've broken down again, I'll be watching this last up candle to see if we're gonna close above it, and then if we do, then I'll be looking for a buy. So if you do have any pair recommendation you want me to look at, please send it to me and then I'll have a look for you. All right. Okay. I guess there's no pair recommendation, so I think my time is done. I'm still online. If anyone has any question, you can send it to me and I will do my best to answer you. One last thing before I go, the one thing that as a trader everyone has to understand, and I get this thing often, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's something bad, but people need to realize that you know, when it comes to trading, there's three variables, right? You can either take a loss, you can either take a win, or you can break even. Okay, no one is immune of any of them. Okay, no one is immune of any of them. And every trader, if you're going to trade for as long as you are in this market, you are never ever going to be 100% profitable all the time. All right, do not put it in your head that you're going to be 100% profitable all the time. If you do, you are setting up yourself for failure. The reason why is because you'll be forcing yourself to be profitable when the probability might be against you. You might not even be aware of it. Okay, not all the time you will be profitable. So allow yourself to grow when you're wrong. Accept that you're wrong, and then you move on, because accepting that you're wrong will open your eyes to see clearly. Yeah, when you get something wrong, is the I don't know if you guys study about nature, but it's nature telling you that something is wrong, you've done something wrong. Okay, so as long as you're a human being, you are not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Yeah, you're never going to be perfect. So you just have to keep fighting on. All right, you're never going to be perfect, and I'm surprised that some people expect traders to expect people to be all the time consistently profitable. It's not going to happen. You don't know someone's life. You don't know what their personal life is. They might be going through certain things that might, as good as they are, they might go through certain things that might cause them to be emotional and take emotional trades, and for that reason not be profitable for a period of time. So people need to understand this. I'm talking to you guys because someone sent me a message that I had a drawdown. Yeah, bear with me. I'll do that for you in a second. I had a drawdown in August, and my signal service is saying that I made over 300 pips. Yes, I gave signals that made 300 pips, but you don't know what I'm enduring in my personal life to cause me to take my personal trades. Yeah, so I give signals, yes, but it doesn't equate that I'm taking all of them, and it doesn't equate the kind of mental state I will be in to take those kind of trades. Right, we're all human beings. We will get things wrong, but please do not look at those as, because if you do, you're never going to be profitable and you're not going to grow as a trader. Okay, people need to stop those childish. I think it's a bit childish to look at those things. If you know the value that you're getting, or someone giving you a value or their time to give you something, I think the best thing is to actually appreciate it. And if things doesn't go right, you kind of support them, because you cannot be in his position. He's in the position to give things to you, so you need to be appreciative and thankful. Yeah, not the other way around. You don't expect them to be like a god. God is the only perfect person. God is not a person, but God is only perfect. Apart from God, no one is perfect. So we will always get things wrong. All right, so I just wanted to clear that one off the air. Let's look at euro dollar. Okay, euro dollar, like I was saying earlier, I want to see how price will react here. Right, watch this swing high here. I think we will go higher, but for me to confirm that, we need to break this high. If we do, then this thing should drop. So if you are a short-term trader, or if you are a scalper, you could look for breakers. Yeah, like for example in here right now, something like this. We have a high, we have a higher high, and then we broke down this short-term low at the high time frame level. So you could do something like this, sell at this down candle, okay, with a stop here, and then look for targets to the downside. Right, that's for scalping. For day trading, you'll be looking at 15 minutes, right? your 15-minute swing low is all the way down here. So you need to wait for what the 5 minutes is waiting for. You do the same thing on the 15 minutes. You wait for that. There's nothing wrong selling here. This is a 4-hour time frame entry. You can enter, and that's also fine. It depends on the kind of it depends on the type of trader you are. So you can take a short here and then stop above there, and that's also fine. It's all relative. Yeah, it's all relative. It doesn't change. It's the kind of trader you are that will make you choose the time frame to go with what is happening. Okay, so I'll be expecting with this. I've seen this over and over and over and over again, and I can give you examples upon examples upon examples. Right, the latest one was on let's go on to pound Aussie, because that gave us a beautiful short. Gbp Aud, right back in here. Okay, when price was turning around in here, so we had the previous week high to the low, and then that following week we retraced all the way up into this previous week's range, which is between the 60,618 and in the 70. So when there's nothing on that high time frame level, this is how I use it. So then I'll be expecting some form of rejection to continue on lower. Okay, so look at this high, because that's these two lines are delineating 2 different weeks. Okay, 1 week and then another week. So this week range, and then the following week that range. We go inside the previous week's range, optimal trade entry, and then price extends to the downside. So if you go back to euro now, I want you to picture the same thing, because we took out previous week low here. Okay, so that's indicating they want to continue going lower. So if I've put the fib from here to there, we are currently trading at that same level between the 70 and the 618. So I'll be expecting some form of a rejection to continue going lower to come and take out this low. Right, so that's what led me to have that idea on this pair, because on the high time frame it's just noise. It's not noise, it's just this high to that low, the last up candle, divide that into 2, and you see the middle as potential level to go short. So we have a lot of confluence in that area that I've highlighted that could lead price to the downside. But how it does it, that's what I'm highlighting here. You have to choose the kind of trader you are to trade with it. Yeah, so if you want to go short as a swing trader using the 4-hour time frame, then you can do so where we are now. I think the stop loss needs to be above this high. Yeah, you can choose to short where we are now and then place your stop here and then look for a continuation to the downside. Or you can trade as a scalper or as a day trader and then look for same things that is happening on the higher time frame. You'll be looking for them on the lower time frame and then looking for a continuation to the downside. Okay, so you could start hunting for breakers or a break in structure, retracement to the last up candle, and then you sell short. It's the same thing. Okay, and then let's jump on to Gbp USD. Gbp USD, yep, same thing here, right? The high to the low of last week. Yeah, and we're currently trading at the 70.5. with equal lows sitting down here. So I will be looking for we'll be looking for a move to the downside on here, right? So that's my view on these two. And to give you why I look for this, I'll show you where this trade idea came from. This particular trade idea, this move that you see, which is what led me to believe that we will have something like that. Let's go on to this one and show that. Okay, and then look at the range between this high and that low. That's last 2 weeks, not that last week, last 2 weeks. That's last 2 weeks range. So between this high, sorry, this low and that high, I need to change some of the colors. Change that, and then change that, and this one. Okay, so if you see, that is previous week's range, the high to the low. We retrace to where, if you look closely, let's make them a bit brighter. And then 618. All right. So if you look closely, I know I've got so many lines. I'm gonna get rid of the weekly dividers so you can see what I mean. So the high to the low that I have highlighted, that's the previous week range, right? That's the previous week range, and then we retrace to between the 618 and the 70.5 inside that area, and then now we are pushing away. So we spent the whole of last week sideways, and then this week we are pushing higher. So if you go back to this one, okay, we have this to that, we retrace to there, we have an up candle. Dollar is looking like it wants to reject and go higher, so that's what I would expect. Same thing with this one, and then same thing with that one, right? So what I do, which one, because they are all the same, they are all dollar based, yeah, they are all attached to the dollar. So what one will I take? Then I'll do my relative strength analysis, or I'll use my futures currency, and then I'll determine which pair is weak and which pair is strong. So between the British pound, the euro, the Aussie, and then the New Zealand, which one is weak? Okay, by comparing the highs and the lows. So if I find a weaker pair, then I'll pair it with the dollar, and then I'll take that specific one. So instead of me taking this, I'll take one of them, but that one will be a weaker pair compared to the dollar. All right, and I've thoughts about the relative strength analysis, how you use the futures to determine which one is strong, which one is weak, and then you can pair them and then use it to take the trade. Right, so it's not just looking at them and say, okay, we've come to a level and then I'm going to sell short. You have to choose which one, because not all of them is going to do the same. Because if it was like that, trading would be easy, because some of them will not respect, and that's how they use to move the cross pairs. Okay, That's what they use to move some of the cross pairs. So instead of, let's say, euro respecting here and going down, they might take euro up and then maybe New Zealand dollar, and send this one down. And then if you go on to this one will be rallying, right? So it doesn't always work straight away that dollar is going down, so therefore all of them has to go down. It doesn't work like that. So what I've just showed you, if you're looking for, let's say, dollar to go higher now, you want to find out which of the majors, or which of the euro, pound, New Zealand, Aussie, which of them is weak against the dollar. Then you find that pair and then you trade it. In my opinion, this one is very weak because it didn't rally as much as all of them did. So this one is very weak. So if this one was to break down, then we could get a run back down here. Or the New Zealand, we has traded to a high time frame level, so that could also break down. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I do my best to give as much as I can. I wish someone can be in my position for one day. I wish someone can be in my position for one day, just one day. Yeah, so I think that's all for now. Let me look at, today's Monday, so let me look at the crypto world and see what crypto is doing. Yeah, it didn't break this low as I was expecting, so it might be running for that high then. If that's the case, let's go into the daily. Yeah, we should have seen some form of a rejection in here. If you don't break down, then it's gonna take out this high and probably continue going higher. It's looking, the weekly is bullish, so we could be looking a trade above this high, a run above this high, pardon me, and then also this highs as well. Crypto is looking bullish. Ripple. So a friend of mine gave me a tip. A friend of mine gave me a tip that Ripple might go to 50k. I don't know where he got that tip from. I don't know if there's even 50k on this thing. Was it 50k? Let me double check. You can, not all the time, but you can. Oh, it was he had a what do you call it, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. He thinks that Ripple is going to be the new Bitcoin. I'm trying to find the level he said it might go to. Maybe it might be an insight that someone can take advantage of. Yeah, it might go to $10. Yeah, so $10. So $10 is possible. That's what he reckoned. So Ripple to $10. That's huge. That's $10, right? So that's where you reckon Ripple might go to from where we are. So that's a very huge, bold statement. And if that's the case, then I'm buying $500,000 worth of Bitcoin, Ripple. And once it gets there, I'll be a I don't know, trillionaire or billionaire, something like that. Can I trade Bitcoin using DX as confirmation? Like I said, you can. You just don't rely on that all the time. Okay? Don't rely on that all the time, but yes, you can. There will be times that dollar will be dropping and Bitcoin will be rallying, and it's not straightforward. Yeah, it's not straightforward. If it was straightforward, then everybody will make money trading. Right, so don't look at it as it's something straightforward that dollar is going up, therefore everything has to go down, or dollar is going down, everything has to go up. It's not that straightforward. You need to know what you're looking for when those things are happening, and when those things are not happening, what you need to do. Okay, because dollar could be going down, like you can see right now. Okay, dollar is dropping. Dollar is dropping from here to there, but look at what CAD is doing. CAD is not dropping as much as it's supposed to. Okay, so they are holding this pair up. Yeah, so it doesn't equate that yes, dollar is dropping, therefore I can go on dollar CAD and then sell short. It doesn't work like that all the time. So you have to know what you're looking for and what is happening on each individual chart. All right. Okay. Any other pair recommendation? Let me look at the indices. Into market. ES mini. We see a breaker. We had a down candle here, and then we've closed below. So this comes back. We should look for a run back here. We should look for a run back here. We have a high, low, break, last up candle. Yeah, we should see a continuation to the downside on the ES or the S&P 500. At least to come back to this last down candle. Yeah, we might see this thing drop back down here. Nasdaq, we did have a breaker in here. Price never touched it. Price never touched it, and we have another one in here as well. So this also can retrace to 50%. Right, so this needs to get to 50% and then below. What do you think of WD gain square of 9? I have no idea what that is. WD gain square of 9. Let's see. You know, don't make trading so rocket science. Okay, make it very simple. Look for something simple that repeats all the time, and then just have a good money management and a good mindset to trade it. Right, don't make trading so hard. Right, look for a pattern. I think Fibonacci is a great tool. Look for a pattern that repeats most of the time. Okay, that if you see 10 of them, at least 7 or 6 will play out. Even 5, yeah, even 5 will play out. Yeah, it's just too complicated. I just googled it, and it's just too complicated, right? And you don't want that. I listened to Bill Williams. I don't know if you guys know about him. Bill Williams. He's got lots of his indicators on MT4. Okay, Bill Williams. He says that once you start complicating trading, or once you start seeing trading, I'll quote from the video that I watched. He said, as soon as you spend at least more than 5 minutes or 2 minutes trying to understand what is going on your chart, you are making it complicated. Yeah, once you open the chart, you should see what price is trying to do. That's how easy you should make trading. So for you to spend an hour trying to look at this and look at that, when I open the chart, there's only 2 things I'm looking for. Yeah, any chart that I open, I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking where there is a breaker and where there is displacement. So when I open the chart, let's say I open, let's go on to, this is wheat. Okay, when I open wheat, when I see this, okay, my eyes jumps right here. That is the breaker, therefore we are bullish. So what should happen next? We should expect higher prices. So if you are retracing, then I will now look for where it's going to retrace to. So to help me know where it's going to retrace to, then I'll use my Fibonacci and then do a retracement. and then I'll find out, okay, we could retrace to 50% and 618. So that's where I'll be expecting what? That's where I'll be expecting price to retrace to. Okay, and then the lower time frame, I can decide to go short and come here, or I can completely ignore it and then set my alert down here. Okay, I'll set my alert down here and then I'll leave it. So once it gives me the alert, then I'll know that price has traded to the level that requires my attention. And then once price gets down here, I'll start looking for reasons to go long. That's it. Yeah, I don't need to look at anything. I don't need no indicator on the chart because it doesn't help. Okay, so try and make trading as simple as you can. And one of the best tools that in my understanding works consistently, if you have the right mindset and the right money management to trade it, is the Fibonacci. Yeah, the Fibonacci, with the right mindset, with the right money management, you can trade it successfully by waiting for retracement. So we have an impulse leg, price is going for retracement, you're looking to buy at 618, stop loss just below, between the 79 and the 1. So you can place your stop loss somewhere here, somewhere in between, and then you look for first target above this high and then second target there. That is it. This is it. You can look for this all the time on any time frame, on any pair, on any instrument that moves, and that is it, your trading plan. That's it. What you need to understand is just time frame difference and your style of trading, so you know which time frame to apply the Fibonacci. So if you're a swing trader and you want to be taking trades on the 4-hour, then you pull your fib on the 4-hour to look for 4-hour retracement. If you're a day trader, then you use the 1 hour 15 minutes and you look for that retracement, and then you just do it over and over and over again. So trading can be very simple and it can be very, very hard. It depends on how you see it and how you want to make it. All right, if there's no more questions, then I will be ending here. For our members, I see you guys tomorrow morning at 9. And then for the YouTube members, I'll see you guys at Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. GMT. Thank you for coming, and I appreciate all of you. Take care of yourselves and have a pleasant day.